Oh, gee. It happened. Destiny 2 has come to an end. Oh, boy. It's very typical that Microsoft would always like to end their good games on an early note. It's kind of like The Sopranos. They just want to end things abruptly, right? They always have this problem. They always end their games when it's on a good note, right? They have Marathon 2. I'm sorry, Marathon. And yeah, that's not doing so well, but they're going to pull their resources into Marathon when they already have a functional game, which doesn't make sense. I'm going to happen. Hold on, let me just.
I slid the brown note in there, so
Oh,
if you
shit.
checked your trousers,
God.
you're welcome.
Damn it.
Welcome
I
to
made
the
a pie.
future for Destiny.
Fuck you.
It has just been announced by Bungie
You
that
greaseball.
active development is coming to a close, which means we've reached the end of the journey with Destiny 2, which I know might not come as a huge shock to a large number of people. The writing was kind of on the wall over.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about the executives at Microsoft, right? When they look at the metrics, the playership has died down. Like it's been dying for a long time. Everybody knew that it was dying. It was one of the most phenomenal FPS MMOs. Is it an MMO? I guess you can call it an MMO. But it was one of the best MMOs for FPS. And now it's gone. You have Counter-Strike, but it's full of gambling and cheaters, so that shit fell off the fucking rails. And Destiny 2 was supposed to be the next big thing. It was it was a co-op game basically, but well, Microsoft, they just threw away a good thing. If they only kept working on it, then the game could have flourished. It could have popped off. It came out in 2017, and the game, well, it could have lasted super long. Like League of Legends, right? It came out in 2009, and they just keep working off of it. And they just ride on the success. They don't just make a brand new game like League of Legends 2 and delete everything from the past. And now, oh, this is the new game, League of Legends 2. Let's go, baby. Let's squeeze this. But no,
the last
Microsoft
many months, unfortunately. But for me personally, it's still sad to see. I have always said that Destiny has had the most potential out of any FPS we've ever seen. I have collectively spent a couple thousand hours in Destiny 2 across console and PC, and some of my most memorable gaming moments in general come from doing raids with my friends in this game. It is some of the best content you can find, and we always made a tradition out of trying to day one complete the new raid in Destiny 2 when we were blessed with them. So I really did.
Yeah, it was like WoW, right? where like WoW or RuneScape, when like the new raid comes out, or like Theater of Blood for RuneScape or whatever. Or WoW with I don't really play WoW, but I know when that shit came out, all my friends were playing it for the raid, right? And it was Destiny was a successful. It had so much potential, but they just want to throw it away. Like, why? Why would you do that?
This game, and I always kept my fingers crossed, praying, salivating that they would start to reach the potential that so many of us knew that it had in the tank. There was so much juice in here, but they left a lot of piss in the balls. Unfortunately, throughout the Destiny 2 journey, there were a ton of stumbles from Bungie with the direction of things, and really lack of direction of things. And I abandoned Destiny 2 after Lightfall. My entire friend group did. Lightfall was just a dud. That was a flop. I mean,
I didn't play that.
It was hard to go back to Destiny 2.
I could already feel the decline
Lightfall.
Before that.
So I never even got to experience the final shape, which was really the climax to all of it. Even though I heard it was very good, which is nice, they kept going after the final shape. And as they continued to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel, they kept hemorrhaging players. And if you look at the
look at this. Playing minutes ago, 24-hour peak, 9,200 all-time peak. Wow, fucking 316K? Holy. Oh my god. For the past 7 days. This game is really good. I always hear good things about it.
Steadily happening over many
I played it
months,
too,
and
but
now
then not that much.
It was in a state
Not enough to
where
say that I play it.
Really was just on life
I played
support,
like
and it was
30
pretty
hours.
Clear Bungie wasn't putting like a ton of resources into trying to like revamp Destiny 2 to get players to go back to it or get new players in. So it really isn't surprising that this is happening now. So let's go through the announcement, but also I want to mention something else since I brought up Steam charts. Bungie's other game, Marathon, is actually doing worse than Destiny 2 by player numbers, by raw player numbers on the Steam charts. So,
and they want to work off of this. They want to work off of this game. Like, you already have a successful business. Why would you want to delete that business and start a new one? You could have built off of Destiny, but no. You want to start a new game because for no reason. Like, what ego is there? You're a business. It's Microsoft. Wait, actually, is it still Microsoft? Does Bungie still is owned by Microsoft? Who owns Bungie? Who owns Bungie? Oh, Sony Entertainment. Okay. I did not know that. Acquired the studio for $3.6 billion. Managed by its head, Justin Truman. That makes sense now. Sony is not really good at, managing games. They fuck up a lot of things. I did not know that. Now I knew.
Than Destiny 2
okay.
By player numbers.
So it's not Microsoft's fault. My bad.
So it makes me wonder, how is Bungie going to stay afloat in the meantime? Because it doesn't look like Marathon has a strong enough player base to support them. Like, they're right now teetering on fucking high guard numbers. Is that enough to allow Bungie to press forward? Like, maybe, and perhaps I'm overthinking it, maybe it really will just be Sony with more infusions of cash. Maybe they're able to just still run off of everything they built with Destiny. I don't know. But to no longer have Destiny in like an active development state, it will continue to hemorrhage. And then they only have Marathon, which is starting to tread water, like dangerously fast.
I feel like they should allow people or like other companies to buy the game. Like, hey, we're giving up on this. Do you want to buy this? Like, like $500 million or something, or like 100 million. I'm pretty sure someone would buy it and they would work off of it. I would totally buy it if I had the money, because Destiny was a really good game. Just I didn't have enough time to play it during that time, but now I do, and I would not mind managing the game or just being the owner of the game and just fixing everything. Right? There's two companies. I mean, well, it's also of AMC. Hey, if you want me to be the CEO, I can fix you too. AMC, let's go.
So what keeps them going in the meantime while they work on their next project? I guess that remains to be seen. For almost 12 years, we have had the joy and honor to explore the Destiny universe with you all. Through all the ups and downs, surprises and triumphs, building Destiny alongside our players has been a monumental privilege. While our love for Destiny 2 has not changed, it has become clear that after the final shape, we have reached the time for our shared worlds and Destiny to live beyond Destiny 2. As our focus turns toward a new beginning for Bungie, we will begin work incubating our next games. To that end, on June 9th, 2026, we will release the final live service content update for Destiny 2 to begin that new journey as a studio. Though active development may be concluding, we will ensure that Destiny 2 remains playable, just as the original Destiny is today. Many changes in this final update will aim to ensure that Destiny 2 is a welcoming place for players to return to. We're proud of Destiny 2, the places it took us, and the legacy it has created. Because of you all, our universe is vast, built on years of shared stories, adventures, and victories. From the Cosmodrome to the Pale Heart to the Lawless Frontier, we have forged lifelong memories and friendships with you all. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who made that journey with us. From the deepest part of our hearts, thank you, and we'll see you in the stars.
Okay, well, they're gonna keep the game running. That's pretty cool. Actually, that's one thing that I do like about Sony is that they, for PlayStation, they have the network, the PSN, right? They just keep that shit running. Unlike Microsoft with their Xbox, you have to buy Xbox Live, which is no bueno, no bueno.
A pretty nice send-off message, to be honest, and they're dropping a final content update to it in order to try and leave it on a high note, which I think is commendable. I also appreciate that they are going to keep it in a state where it is playable. That's extremely nice, especially when so many other games just close their doors when they're done with active development. So it's good to see them put resources into ensuring that players can always still go back to Destiny and experience it. But speaking of that, one thing you can't do in Destiny, and one thing they made a habit out of doing that I was very vocally against, is the rabid sunsetting of content. For example, you actually cannot play the original Destiny 2 campaign anymore, Red War. That's been gone for a long time. So when Destiny 2 launched, the campaign that you played, that I played when it first came out, has been inaccessible for many moons now. And there's plenty of other examples of content that has been sunset that you can't access as a player anymore. So
what? That's so stupid. Why would they do that? I feel like that's content that will retain old players and primarily bring in new players, right? If new players join in and then they play like late game content immediately or later game content, then they'll be like, well, what the hell? I want to play the early game stuff. They don't have that anymore. Oh, then I missed out. All right, I'm not going to play anymore. Well, who is managing this company? Who is managing this company? 9.
Of like the shared stories and shared experiences that are mentioned here in Destiny are already just fucking relics of the past. They're already extinct. You can only see them in YouTube videos or when you close your eyes and have a wet dream, which is just something I've always felt is sad when it comes to Destiny 2, because there's a lot of content that you played and maybe really liked that they eventually just poof out. But the biggest, saddest part of all of it is just, again, how much potential was left on the table with Destiny 2. Like, it did have a good run. Like, it had a very strong run. It's not like this was like some underrated hidden gem no one knew about. Destiny 2 had a really strong, very loyal, very dedicated player base. But I feel like along the way, they kept stumbling. And they kept going in directions that the community didn't want. And then they have to...
Well, I feel like there should be some intervention from Microsoft, right? Like when the parent company buys these smaller companies like Twitch and Amazon, I feel like Amazon should put pressure on the smaller companies like Twitch to fix their problems if they have any. They definitely have the ability to do so, but like the thing with these big companies, they buy these smaller companies in order to profit off of them. However, they thought that it is going to be passive income. They treat it like it's a passive income thing. You don't have to put any resource into it. It's one of those things they thought that is a cash cow, but in reality, it needs maintenance. It needs work, right? Just imagine like these, like if you're like a relatively rich person, not crazy rich, but like a relatively rich person, you buy a self-serve car wash, right? You have to maintain the place. You have to keep the place clean, keep the place lit up, right? Call the police when crackhead shows up. You cannot just like, oh, I'm gonna buy a self-serve car wash and it's gonna make its own money. That's not how it works, right? But a lot of big companies do this, and then it just destroys these smaller companies like Bungie.
Reel it back to try and win them over again. So it always became this like tug of war, this push and pull, where you take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and then you take 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back again. But there was always that hope that they would finally start to learn these lessons and be able to deliver on what Destiny 2 could offer, because there was always glimpses of it. There was some incredible content, amazing raids, amazing ideas, but then it would always be bogged down by the next thing they do that goes in the wrong direction. Like, there was just so much there, and it is sad to see that it won't be realized now with its final content update rolling out soon. But they are saying that they're currently working on their next projects, and maybe that's Destiny 3. I think that'd be extremely hype if it was, taking everything they've learned from Destiny and Destiny 2 and just blowing our ass out with Destiny 3.
I don't know, man.
And that's not the
Here's the thing about trilogies. Usually the first one is good, the second one is the best, and the third one is absolute trash. Kind of like Kingdom Hearts, right? The first one is really good, right? But the second one is the best one. And then the third one comes and fucks everything up. Or Rush Hour, right? Rush Hour 1. Really good. Absolutely good movie. Rush Hour 2. Perfect. Perfect fucking, like, it can't get any better than that. And then 3 came and, you know, it's not a movie. It felt like watching a sitcom, like a really unfunny sitcom. I don't know. I don't have high hopes for Destiny 3.
Delusional hopium from hitting the crack pipe or anything. Like, to me, that feels realistic and feels like something that's kind of a no-brainer. Destiny is a juggernaut of a franchise. This had more staying power than 99% of games. They've made unfathomable amounts of money through Destiny, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
but
just
just
kept
through
doing it.
so much mismanagement over the years and being aimless numerous times, especially after the final shape, apparently, which, again, I'd already checked out after Lightfall because that was just so much of a blunder. But the point is, it wasn't because of lack of interest in Destiny. It was just they were making bad decisions with it and really kind of backed themselves into a corner with the final shape, apparently. So I think Destiny 3 could very much be on the menu for something they serve up next. I feel like it should be. Because again, there is still so much potential there that they never fully tapped into and realized and really delivered upon. Again, there were only ever those like moments of them like starting to find their flow state, but they never stuck with it and stayed there. Like, there is nothing that is even like Destiny. There's not an alternative. Like, the Guardians here aren't going to go flock to another game now that's just like a Destiny replacement because there isn't one. You can't find a Destiny 2 game that isn't just Destiny 2. It doesn't really exist. So to me, it makes sense.
It'd be nice if they have private servers. Are there private servers for Destiny? You know, like back in the old days, they had private servers for MU, MapleStory. What are some other ones? Like, I don't know, Jade Dynasty?
To do a Destiny 3 because there is still very clearly a ton of players and a ton of demand for it. And you would now have a clean slate to do it right. With every lesson that has been learned over this decade and some change, however long it's been now, 12 years, you could really nail it this time. Well, hopefully, I don't know. That might be hopium speaking there. But actually making a Destiny 3, to me, just feels like the natural next step for Bungie. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, just wanted to yap about it a bit. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, so I guess the reason why Destiny 2 is getting shut down, it's because the executives look at the numbers and they're like, these numbers don't look good. We gotta shut it down. I mean, you could, we can recover, but that would be a lot more work. And we invested everything into Marathon. Let's work on that, right? And here's the thing about, it's kind of like an investment, right? And here's the thing about investment. A lot of people are bad at investing. They don't really look into the detail. Like, for example, right, Donald Trump, right? I'm not saying he's a shitty person, but then he's really bad at investing. You think that a multi-billionaire would be good at investing, but apparently Donald Trump, with the stock Palantir, he bought that stock when it was sky high, but it dipped down to $1 and $160, and then he sold it. It was over like 200 some dollars, and then he just sold it when it fell by $100. That's not a good investment move. You would think, right? Oh, billionaire, he knows how to make a lot of money. He should. But apparently, like investing and running a business are two very different things. And sometimes in business, you have to use your investing brain. You have to put your money into the right spot, and then it pops off, right? It's kind of like a gamble. It's a risk. But like, I guess the executives at Sony, right? They're Japanese, so they're not they are risk takers, but they are super liberal risk takers, right? Like Nintendo, they always make brand spanking new games. They always try new things, and that's commendable. It's awesome that they do that, but they also fuck things up too, right? If they just kept Destiny and just work on it, it could have been a major brand. It could have been like the next League of Legends or or Warcraft. It could have been like the FPS version of Warcraft or the FPS version of RuneScape. It could have been those, but no, they want to just fuck it into the wind and pull all their resources into Marathon, which is a dumb move. But it's the Japanese, right? I hope I'm right. Sony is owned by the Japanese, right? Is Sony? Oops. Sony owned by Japanese. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'm right of one thing. I am right, but yeah, it could have been. I think I would have totally played it if Destiny was better, if it was improved. But I missed out on like the early day content, and I'm like, I'm not really motivated to play the game because of that. And now the game is gone. Oops. No. Well, it is what it is, right? Kind of like Roblox. Apparently, Roblox is a good game, but I never touched it. So, yep, that's all I got to say. Toodles.